What are the repercussions for lying in your lawsuit? You want to know the answer? Come join me for a walk on the beach as I share with you the answer to this question. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. Okay, some people may think that if they tell a little white lie during the course of their lawsuit, it doesn't matter at all. Well, I will tell you right now, it matters a great deal. That little white lie can destroy your credibility. That little white lie that you think the defense is never going to learn about, they are, and I guarantee you they are going to learn about that little white lie. And that little white lie, that little fact that you thought was not important, guess what? In all likelihood, it really was not important. And if you had told the truth, guess what? It would have been glossed over and now the jury would have focused on something else. But because you chose is the operative word, because you chose to lie and tell something that was not true, and now you have testified and sworn under oath about this fact that is not true and you knew was not true, now your credibility is at risk. And in these civil lawsuits involving accident cases and medical malpractice cases and wrongful death cases, your credibility is everything in the case. At the end of the trial, the judge turns to the jury and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, if you find that a witness has testified falsely about one thing, you have the right to disregard that one thing, or alternatively, you can disregard all of their testimony." That's a very, very powerful thing. So what actually happens if it turns out that you have lied? Let's say, for example, that you were convicted of a crime 20 years ago, a serious crime, and you did jail time. And now during the course of trial, you were asked the question, "Hey, Mr. Jones, were you ever convicted of a crime?" And you quickly respond, "No, I haven't. I was never convicted of a crime." And now it turns out that the defense attorney has a document in his hands showing that you were convicted of a crime and that you spent 20 years in jail. Now the defense attorney exposes you and shows that you are a liar. Shows that you are a liar, all because you didn't think that the jury would ever find out this information, and because you thought the defense didn't have this information. You even went so far as to keep this information from your own attorney. Now, what is the repercussion to you of actually lying, intentionally lying to the judge and to the jury and to the attorneys in this case? Number one, there could be multiple repercussions, but the very first repercussion that you are going to see is that your credibility is totally destroyed. And that could destroy your entire case. You may have a valid case. You may have a meritorious case. You may have a very valuable case, a case that's worth a great deal of money in terms of compensation for all the harms and losses and damages you suffered because of someone else's carelessness. Maybe it was a doctor who was careless. Maybe it was a careless driver, a careless property owner. So you may have all of that information. But the moment you have destroyed your credibility, everything about your case goes out the window and no longer applies. So what's the real repercussion here? The real repercussion for lying is that you could have thrown your entire case out the window because the jury no longer believes you. That's the first repercussion. What's the second? Let's say you lied about your income and you lied about your tax returns. Now you raise the possibility, I say possibility, that the judge is going to refer your matter and your lying to the district attorney in the county in which your case is pending. And he's going to claim that you, sir, are a liar. That you went ahead and lied to the court in your testimony for the purposes of trying to get a favorable verdict. And guess what? Lying will not be tolerated in this county, the judge says. In that instance, now, you run the risk of being investigated and prosecuted for lying under oath during the course of your trial. And that could have separate repercussions because now you have converted what would be a civil litigation case, a civil case trying to obtain money as a form of compensation. Now you have to deal with a criminal case where the prosecutor from the state of New York is now potentially bringing charges against you for lying under oath in your civil lawsuit. And that could carry repercussions. And that's something that you clearly don't want to get into. Now, what else could happen? The judge could also refer your lawyer to the grievance committee, claiming that your lawyer knew about these untruths. Untruths is a fancy, politically correct way for saying your lies. And now your attorney can be subject to investigation by the lawyers' committee called the grievance committee, claiming that he knew that you were lying and he intentionally put you up there on the witness stand to testify falsely so that you could get a favorable result and he could join in that favorable result. That is a potential repercussion and a very dangerous one for the attorney. So now this one little lie, this one little intentional untruth, something that was not true, this falsehood, has now potentially evolved and mushroomed into something much, much bigger and much, much worse for you and your case, and for you personally, and possibly for the attorney as well. So why do I share this with you? I share this with you because even though every single witness who gets up to testify in court swears to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, the reality is that there are witnesses who don't tell the whole truth, who tell part of the truth, who leave out certain things. In that instance, now you've created a problem for yourself. You know, I realize you're likely watching this video because you have questions or concerns about your own matter. Well, if your matter did happen in New York and you have not yet started a lawsuit, but are thinking of doing so and still have questions that need to be answered, what I invite you to do is pick up the phone and call me. You know, I answer questions like yours every single day and I'd love to chat with you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at Oginski-law.com. Well, that's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a fantastic day.